I wish to thank the United States Institute for Peace for the opportunity it has provided me to speak once again with the policy community in Washington. As Andrew mentioned, I've been here before and I always find these sort of discussions fruitful and engaging, and hopefully we'll have one such discussion today. My country, Pakistan, as we all know, has been in global news for a variety of reasons. A country of more than 220 million people, armed with nuclear weapons, hosting the world's largest refugee population for nearly 4 decades, and located in a region that has been in ferment for long. It is a country that has been struggling with democracy. Dictatorships have struck on and off and destabilized the country. Dictatorships have, in a country whose tribal regions were once known, unfortunately known, as the petri dish of international terrorism. The Tora Bora caves that sheltered the world's most dreaded terrorists for years are a few kilometers away from our borders. For many years now, Pakistan's peace has depended also on the security situation in Afghanistan. The decision by President Trump to unilaterally withdraw from Afghanistan has created a new wave of uncertainty in the region, which poses yet another challenge to Pakistan. Just like last week, the New York Times wrote a highly insightful and powerful editorial at the end of the war in Afghanistan. I'm sure many of you would have read it and realized its implications for our region. The New York Times editorial calls it negotiated capitulation by international forces. It's not difficult to visualize the consequences of capitulation. Pakistan is a nation that has for decades struggled for peace and stability. Our people have lost much and gained little. They have sacrificed much and demanded little. The ethos of our people is democratic. They abhor dictatorship. That is the one major reason why dictatorship has repeatedly been imposed on Pakistan. It has never stuck. It has not gained root in our country, and that's something to be thankful for. During the last 3 decades, Pakistan has had 3 general elections, in 2008, and once again in 2013, and yet again most recently in 2018. In the run-up to the 2008 elections, that brought the Pakistan People's Party into power, my mother, Bilawal Bhutto, the Muslim world's first female Prime Minister, twice elected Prime Minister of Pakistan, embraced martyrdom at the hands of militants and extremists while struggling for the restoration of democracy and challenging the mindset of violent extremism in Pakistan. The 2008 Pakistan People's Party government was the first democratically elected government in the history of Pakistan to complete its constitutionally mandated 5-year period. We recently had the 3rd peaceful transfer of power, and they say that 3 is the magic number, after which shaking the foundations of a fledgling democracy becomes all the more difficult. This is something we are counting on, because it's taken a lot for us to get here today. In a country like Pakistan, beset with militancy, a history of dictatorship, and a restive region, the holding of 3 democratic elections in a row, peaceful transfer of power from one elected government to another, and again too, should not be dismissed as insignificant. These are significant achievements indeed. I'm reminded of what Winston Churchill had said. Democracy is the worst form of government except for all the other forms that have been tried from time to time. And indeed, it is with this thought in mind that we choose to fight the system from within the system. We choose to compromise personal interests for national interests. We choose to rise above And this is why, despite the knowledge that previous elections was clearly compromised and electoral manipulation was at its peak, we still chose to accept the outcome with serious reservations. Not only that, we also convinced the rest of the opposition parties in Pakistan, all of whom had outright rejected the results and as a consequence refused to become members of this parliament, to take back this position, become members of parliament in the larger interest of the system, because the People's Party has always been committed to institution building. However, there are still serious challenges to our democracy. Democracy is not merely holding of periodic elections and transferring power from one party to another. More than periodic elections, democracy means equality before law, human dignity, justice, life, liberty, freedom of expression, and the pursuit of happiness and peace. Measured with this yardstick, we have several issues facing us today. When basic principles of a democracy are undermined or threatened, people begin to lose faith in democracy itself. That is a challenge for Pakistani democracy today. Today in Pakistan, we're experiencing a curtailing of our freedoms. The freedom of expression, liberty, and justice are increasingly being compromised. We are witnessing censorship, the likes of which we have never before. State-sponsored stifling of dissent and curbing of freedoms of speech, movements, association. These are actions, the repercussions of which we will be bearing for generations. We are already witnessing indigenous organic movements springing up across the country, where citizens, tired of being persecuted, have begun to push back. And this is what we need. We need to keep speaking up. We need to keep fighting back, keep challenging the forces that seek to silence us. We have to contain and banish religious extremism and fanaticism and curb divisive rhetoric. We must ensure the implementation of the National Action Plan that was devised with the consensus of all political parties and the stakeholders in fighting militancy. The National Action Plan, unfortunately, remained only on paper thus far, and the state is concentrated only on its kinetic part. The erstwhile tribal regions along Pakistan's border have traditionally remained a no man's land, have finally emerged with the adjoining province of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. This merger has posed enormous challenges. My party has prepared a blueprint on how to address the challenges of the merger. Pakistan's largest province, Balochistan, needs political reconciliation, addressing the concerns of nationalists and enforced disappearances is also on our political agenda. One area that is not much talked about, but which nonetheless is a reality, is the civil-military relations in Pakistan. My party is conscious that this issue has to be addressed for long-term democratic and political stability. I have proposed that all political parties sit together and work out a consensus charter of democracy to cement democracy and enable it to deliver. The Pakistan People's Party is committed to defend and enhance human rights and fundamental freedoms. It is for this reason that last week, when the National Assembly of Pakistan finally formed parliamentary committees, I decided to be a candidate for the chairmanship of the Human Rights Committee of the National Assembly. My party and I are committed to defend and expand the frontiers of human rights that have come under increasing threat, to stand up for the disenfranchised, to fight for fundamental freedoms. Pakistan is a nation of young people. Well over 60% of our population comprises of youth. Our untapped potential is immense. Millions of young people enter the job market every year, and our economy, with its projected 3% growth rate to 2022, isn't equipped to handle the level of unemployment. The current economic crisis facing Pakistan is dire. With a shrinking tax base, high inflation, increasing trade deficits, repeated devaluation, and unprecedented circular debt in the energy sector, today prices of utilities and staples are becoming too high for the average Pakistani. Our aim must be to have an economy that works for the many and not just for the few. Pakistan's policymakers must realize that advantage must be taken of our geostrategic position and borders opened for trade with every country bordering Pakistan. We have the potential to be the future trade hub of the world. We need to come out of the security state mentality and release our full potential. The many challenges we face may appear insurmountable, but as my mother used to say, you've come too far, you've sacrificed too much to fail now. And as was often, if not always the case, she was right. And so we continue to fight, and we continue to struggle. We will struggle for peace and stability. We fight for the marginalized and the disenfranchised. We struggle for rule of law and civil liberties. We fight for equal rights and opportunities. And we keep at it until the seemingly insurmountable challenges are conquered. We keep at it until the day we succeed. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.